Good afternoon everyone, my name is Lewis, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all safe and well. Now on today's episode I'm going to be unboxing some new albums that have come into my collection. I'm going to talk about each album in turn and maybe some of the background as to why I made this particular choice and why I purchased this album. So straight out of the gate, the first one today is, I believe, a 1973 release, and it's by a lovely musician called Norman Connors, who's a drummer, and the album's entitled Love from the Sun. Let's have a look at that cover. I really like that. I like the silhouette nature of it. I like the background, whether it's dawn or dusk, who knows, but yeah, I find it a powerful image. I like that. It's gatefold cover, so I can't show you the whole thing at this moment. And that's the reverse side. Really do like that image. Equally, that could have been the main cover for it, the front cover, but I can understand why they chose the way they have. But I really like that one. Cool outfit, cool background. Yeah, really like the artwork on this one. Now, Mr. Connor, for me, although I love his, when he's on it, he really is on it. But a lot of the material is hit and miss at the same time. So I'm trying to rein in my expectation of how I think the whole album's going to be. My initial thoughts were it was good enough that you should have it in your collection. So I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna regret it at all. But what I'm probably gonna judge it by a different criteria. One which is based on, I think, at historically he gives you 2 great tunes per album. Yeah, 2 I'd say. 3 is at a push, but yeah, I still look forward to it in any case. So I don't know if I'm gonna like review it. I'll have to think about that, but certainly one that I'd want in my collection. So let's have a look at the vinyl itself. Right, it comes in the Pure Pleasure normal inner sleeve, which is always fantastic, so well done to them. Very nice weight to it. Label just as I thought it would be. Very clean piece of vinyl, nice and flat, and again nice weight, as I've come to expect from Pure Pleasure. So well done to them, they've done another excellent job. So yeah, a bit of mixed feelings, not in terms of the packaging or the vinyl pressing or anything like that, more the material on that album. Have I jumped the gun? Have I been too enthusiastic? We shall see. The second album today is a lovely slice of Bossa Nova, the golden era Brazilian music in my opinion, and this is by one of its chief exponents, João Gilberto. Yeah, like the album cover, no complaints there. I love the gentleman's output. I got loads of it on different other formats, so it was nice to get a vinyl version of it, which has got like quite a few tracks that I really like. Well, in my own head I think of it as just golden era Brazilian Bossa Nova tunes, so super glad to get my hands on it. Yeah, what's the tracks that I was thinking of? Just off the top of my head and looking at Força Baina, I like that track, and Aguas de Marco, or Waters of March. Yeah, I want to hear his versions. I want to own his versions of those particular tunes. So super pumped to have it in that regard. Oh, what it came with as well is some paper, yeah, like a bit of card, and it's got the lyrics to the key tracks on this particular album, so you can sing along with it. Yeah, maybe at some time I might be brave enough to do a recording of me singing one of these tracks, but yeah, don't hold your breath, it could be some time, but yeah, really good idea, so pleased with that. The vinyl itself came in a nice inner sleeve, no complaints there. The weight to the vinyl is nice and flat, like that. Okay, the label itself is a bit boring, but yes, I think this is going to sound absolutely wonderful as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. That was a sensible price. Yeah, got no complaints about how I came across this one. Yeah, it was just at a really good price, and it had the tracks that I wanted. I would have even been prepared to pay a bit more for those tracks and his renditions of them, but yeah, if you can get them slightly cheaper, then magic. So check out that particular album. Yeah, I certainly, for my Brazilian collection, it had to be in there. So the next album today is by a jazz drummer by the name of Haynes, and this album's entitled Senya. There you go. Love that image, nice and dynamic, like the sideburns, sideboards, mutton chops, whatever you know it as, but I like that. That's cool. Yeah, lovely teeth as well, and on this side as well. Gee, yeah, that's lovely teeth. I'm not sure that's a great image, but yeah, great teeth. The reason for buying this particular album is quite simple. Let's see if I can find it. I think this is it. Yeah, on the strength of this one, on listening to this one, which absolutely blew my mind, I just got like slightly obsessed with both of the artists here. So I started getting their other material. Some of you had commented on like some of the album names, what I should be looking out for. So thank you very much, those who did suggest stuff, material to me. Greatly appreciate that. So on the strength of that album, which I adored, I got this one. If what I remember listening to it in order for me to buy it, it was, yeah, this was a lovely piece. Now, hopefully, once I've cleaned it, give it some time, get it into rotation, give it a good listen to. I'm hoping it's going to live up to my expectations, but my initial thoughts was this is fantastic. It's like, yeah, blew me away. So I'm really looking forward to giving this a really good listen to. The vinyl itself, disappointingly, comes in a paper sleeve, but you know, it's on the mainstream label, which is always nice to see. I really do like their output usually. Okay, that's it there. Sorry about the glare. Now, the vinyl itself is disappointing, I have to say. A lump in my throat, my bottom lip has dropped. Yeah, that weight's not it really isn't. Yeah, I'm slightly taken aback by that. I expected much more. Maybe that's a case of like an old pressing of it. If you used to buy another version, a more up-to-date repress version, it could be on slightly heavier vinyl. So I don't want to make a blanket statement, but my one, wow. Anyway, let's try and let's move along from that. The next and fourth album today is by a gentleman called Joe Farrell, and the album's entitled Outback. And here is, oh, it's a 1979 original release. Oh, there wasn't there. I don't know what's going on there, because it say it was recorded in 71, then but released in 79. Who knows? Anyway, I'll find out at some point. So there we go. A very striking image. It's very striking. Rendered speech, I'll have to think about this cover. It's certainly dramatic, but I'm not really sure what I think of it. So yeah, that's the gentleman himself. I think Joe Farrell himself, or I'd assume so. It's on the CTI label. Usually for them, I like everything that they put out. So it could be a track, an album with just one track on it. It could be some artists who I like the entire body of work on that album. CTI does ebb and flow like that, but usually the actual sound quality, whether it's one track, 6 tracks, they sound fantastic, whatever that highlight track is. But yeah, usually I love their output, and I've obviously bought this one. So if I remember rightly, this was an outstanding piece. And again, I get confused why certain albums, I would remember this album cover. but it can't be spoken about really in wide circles because I don't recollect ever seeing this album cover before, apart from when I was going to buy it and I did some slight research on it. But yeah, sometimes great material doesn't get the respect it perhaps deserves. So we'll wait and see. But for my initial assessment of this was an absolutely astonishing piece. The vinyl which accompanied that particular cover, yeah, I've just taken out in disgust because it's another paper sleeve. This is on the CTI label. Yeah, it's sturdy. It's flat. Weight, it's okay. It's okay. More concerned about the paper sleeve more than anything. But I look forward to really listening to this. CTI, as I said, it's a label that I have probably stronger affections for CTI than I have for probably Blue Note. It goes that deep in terms of like the output, their overall sound. I really do like them. Now the final album today, I took a chance on this particular artist. Never heard of him before. Well, I'm not conscious of hearing of him before. I could very well have albums which he's a part of, but saw the album cover, decided, you know what, this guy looks interesting. Let me have a listen to, you know, a particular album, see what I think. I was blown away by this album. So it's a saxophonist by the name of Noah Howard, and the album's entitled Live in Europe, Volume 1. There we go. Really do like that cover. Look at that. That's dynamic. That's classic jazz kind of. I like his hat as well. This dude's just too cool for school. He really is. It's just like, yeah, you're the dude. The reverse side is as follows. Now, my over impression, the packaging doesn't feel great. I'm not saying it's cheap or anything, but that's really quite lazy, the back of it. No, it's only just like information about the, you know, the track title. Oh, this is a 1975 release. I just think they could have done something a bit more interesting. Even if the original is like that, then you could have done something different. So yeah, slightly disappointed by that. The front cover is certainly something to really get excited over. And what I remember of this album is it sounded fantastic, and it was like, okay, you seem to be in the groove of, you know, finding some obscure artist out there, you know, because these guys, superficially, I've never heard of them, but it's just like, your album cover looks interesting, or your name looks interesting, or I'm just going to take a punt randomly and I happen to hear your music, fell in love with it, gonna purchase it. So with that one, I think this could be the beginning of a lovely musical journey with Mr. Howard, because if my memory of him is as good as it actually is on second and third hearing, then we're all in for a treat. The vinyl that it came with, disappointingly, is in paper, but these things do happen. If you're going to have it in a paper in a sleeve, then this is one of the better examples of it. But the problem with having it in paper in the sleeves is that it attracts dirt on static, and this one is just littered with it. It's filthy. It's reasonably, yeah, it's flat enough. The weight, wish it was heavier. Not going to go too much into it. It's acceptable. Would have much preferred it to be heavier than what it actually is. It's borderline for me. What can you do? What can you do? Yeah, it just needs a. That's just super dirty, so I need to sort that out. Yeah, I'm really disappointed with how light that is. And it wasn't cheap, so that's why I'm a bit more aggrieved by that. So that was the last album today. There was a few things, as you could tell, triggered me a bit. Got a bit moany. Nothing really awful, but some of it was borderline. I look forward to listening to all of those, and I'm sure with a few of them I will be adding them to one of my reviews. So until the next episode, I hope that you found this relatively entertaining and relatively informative. So until the next episode, please consider liking, subscribing and sharing, and I will see you for the next episode. So until then, take care of yourselves. Bye bye.